It is Thursday, May the 28th, and I'm going to read from Exodus 14, but um, it's an odd passage, but you'll get it. Starting with verse 13 and 14, Moses said to the people, "Do not fear, stand by and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians whom you've seen today, you'll never see them again forever. The Lord will fight for you while you keep silent." I think so often we get ourselves wrapped up in feelings of fear. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not using this verse to do some sort of proclamation that the Lord will now clear coronavirus and all this. But what I'm saying about this is Moses is telling these people, stop being afraid. There's God is working things here. Don't worry. And I think there's important things that we need to learn from this little piece and period of time. This is right before they crossed the Red Sea. This is right before the waters were parted and the Egyptians were eventually drowned. One of the things that we have to understand is, first of all, God has a plan. And here the people are all racked with fear and dread. They're worried about everything. And there was no place to go. And yet God had led them to the very place that they were to be, not to see them get slaughtered, but to bring about a great miracle for deliverance. So God knows what he's doing, folks. You may think that you're in a no-win situation, but just remember God has a plan. Number two, you got to keep your eyes on the Lord. But God was always with the children of Israel. By day he was a cloud. By night he was a pillar of fire. He was visibly with them 24/7. Israel had a choice. They could either worry about Pharaoh and the armies that were following them, or they could focus their eyes on the Lord, who was leading them and protecting them. If you focus on your problems, you're always going to be afraid. If all you do is focus on the bad that could come from the COVID virus, you're going to be afraid of it. And I'm not saying it's not something to be afraid of, but what I'm saying is, if it grips you with that kind of fear, it becomes your main focus. Your eyes are no longer on the Lord. So you need to realize and maybe ask that question, what are you focusing on today? And then the third thing is, you have to take a step of faith. When those waters parted and you see the wall of water on each side, and God told the people to start walking through, that was a step of faith. They had seen so many things. They had already seen the plagues. They had seen everything happen that had happened in order to set them free from Egypt. And now here they were being told to walk through this area where the water had split up and there were walls of water on each side, and they walked over on dry land. But when they told him to do that, it took a step of faith to follow through with what the Lord has said. We need to understand that at times when we are fearful, at times when we may not know how it's supposed to work out, but we know this is where we're supposed to go, we need to go ahead and believe and trust in the Lord and take that next step, whatever it may be. It may be reaching out and talking to that person that you should be talking to, and you're just maybe afraid of their reaction, but you should step out on faith. Maybe it's giving a little more of your time or talent and treasure. Maybe it's taking a little bit more time out of your daily schedule and daily grind to spend time in the Word. Whatever it is, take that step of faith and realize that God has a plan. Keep your eyes on the Lord, and then take that step of faith. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.